Never felt so far from home. Guess I know I'm not alone, 'cause I got pictures at my bedside. When my memories collide, they kiss my mind. Thought I'd see you in the morning, 'cause in the night I heard you calling. And though it was only a dream, pulled my heart right out the seams. Oh, 'cause it made me realize that time is not your ally. Spend it wise. Oh, hours turn into days. I don't wanna waste another moment wishing I could say, take me home one more time, so I know that they know. I'll dial your name today. Been so long since I called, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You've been on my brain. Way too long, we'll be gone. I'm too strong, but I wanna say, I love you.
Bravo. Thank you so much. You guys are just rolling in. Got Eli Weary entertaining us until we get started here in about 7 minutes.
If bygones are bygones, hello, I only want you to stay. It's so hard to be lonely. Night after night, restless night. We're always starting a fight. You only call you forgotten love. We are all but ones, all living till whenever. When's it gonna change? What difference can you make? Walls, they can't be built to last forever. They can't hide hope in us change. We gotta bring down the fever. For those who know love, there are no greater losses than those of the heart. Oh, when's it gonna start? Shoo-be-da, 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 shoo-be-da. Shoo-be-da, 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 shoo-be-da. lost. If the feeling is lost, then you look to the sky. If you wanna know why, if you wanna know why, then you must answer, who am I? We are all but once, all living for whatever. You know, when's that gonna change? Difference can love make? What difference can love make? The difference that love makes. What difference can love make? The difference that love makes.
Thanks so much, Eli Weary. He's going to play us one more song before we get started here in about 3 or 4 minutes. Man, that's really beautiful stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
I remember watching snowflakes and the smile of a child, young and wild. Oh, don't grow younger. Dreams you love, they soon lose hope and grow cold, and you're older. And the dream deferred, seed that shook the earth, festers and grows, and at once it explodes. Don't grow younger. Dreams you love, they soon lose hold, grow cold when you're older. And the dream deferred, seed to prove its worth, festers and grows, and at once it explodes. Oh, as you can see, the river's connection flows through the sea, was inspired by the ocean. And the dream deferred, intent to prove its worth, festers and grows, and at once it explodes. Oh. Thank you.
Bravo. Wow, what a treat. Thank you so much, Eli. That was Eli Weary, part of the multi-talented Weary family that we are going to be working with today. We are so very excited to be here and excited to have you all joining us. My name is Teacher Seth, and you probably know me from some of our other live stream events. This one's an extra special one. We've got a series that's starting today. This is the first in the series, and as you can see, we've got some amazing people here with us. I'm going to toss it over to Teacher Jackie, who is going to be hosting the event today.
We are very happy to be partnered with the Weary Arts Group to present to you Educate and Elevate, a platform for children to stand up for racism. So a 4-part series, and today we're just going to jump into the first part, which is how to talk about racism and really elevating the Black voices and Black culture so that we can understand more about it. What I want to do first is introduce you to a very good friend of mine. I've always admired his stage presence and was even more blown away with the work that he's done in the youth arts organization, Weary Arts Group. So Calvin, tell us more about yourself and about your group.
Well, first and foremost, I am a Black business owner. I live in York, Pennsylvania, and I love musical theater. I love dance. I love anything that goes on a stage. Most of all, I just love entertaining people. And these are my daughters, so that's why we're not wearing masks right now.
Is where I am in the world, in downtown Los Angeles, I see protests every day. So if you're somewhere like me, maybe in New York City, even in Portland, you might be seeing a lot of protests and probably at least seeing them on the news. So let's take a look and try to understand what's all of this about. Go ahead.
A protest is a gathering of people all where they have a common problem that they would like to solve.
Yeah, it's a good way for people to come together and get their point across of how they feel.
Actually, this is a picture of some real protests here in Los Angeles. This is right at City Hall. Where our headquarters is at BGL, I can actually see City Hall about 2 blocks away. So the protests find me. I can see even my sign made it to some of the protests right outside of City Hall. People tell a lot of stories of protests. There's some really big feelings when people are protesting.
So definitely some red zone feelings, right, that come at protests where people want something to change, right? And it's so much more effective to get together with a group of people to make a change. I wonder, what are people trying to change right now, Teacher Jackie?
Yes. Well, Almost Dad went on to explain why people are protesting right now.
Because racism is a huge problem in our country.
Racism? What's that?
Oh, racism is when people treat other people unfairly because of the way they look or the color of their skin.
The color of their skin?
Not all streets are like Sesame Street. On Sesame Street, we all love and respect one another. Across the country, people of color, especially in the Black community, are being treated unfairly because of how they look, their culture, race, and who they are. What we are seeing is people saying enough is enough. They want to end racism.
No. I wants to end racism too. I want everybody to be treated fairly. What can Elmo do, Daddy? How can Elmo support his friends?
Elmo's dad said, we can learn. And that's why you're all here today. And I'm so happy that you came to start that first step and learn more. He also said, talk about what's happening. That's so important. And so in the chat, please do talk about what's happening. Go ahead and write your questions. And then finally, the third step he gave us is take action. And those are all so important to do what he said at the end, to end racism. To talk a little bit too, we talked about our zones of our feelings and going back to what we learned about empathy. So I just want to remind you that empathy is seeing with the eyes, hearing with the ears, and feeling with the heart of another. And I think what we're seeing at these rallies is a lot of empathy. And there's some big, big feelings going. And if you can see with the eyes and hear with the ears and feel with the heart of people of color and Black people in this country who feel like they're being treated unfairly, who are being treated unfairly, then it's a lot easier to stand up to racism and to do something, to take action on it, because you can understand better what's happening. And one of the big things that happens at these protests, at these rallies, are the stories. People tell stories about their feelings, about their experiences in life. And stories are such an important way for us to learn about each other. So we have a story here today to help us learn more about race, racism, and Black culture. This story is called Black is a Rainbow Color. It's presented by the Weary Arts Group with Ella Weary and Amani Weary, featuring music by Eli Weary.
Black is a rainbow color. Written by Angela Joy. Illustrated by Wekla Holmes. Black is a crayon tangled in a box. Black is a feather on white winter snow. Black is the dirt where sunflowers grow. My color is black.
Black are the braids in my best friend's hair. Black are the bottoms of summertime feet. Black are soft circles that spin down the street. My color is black.
Black is a rhythm. Black is the blues. Black is sidewalking in spit-shine shoes.
Black is the robe on Thurgood's back. Black are the trains on the railroad tracks. Black are the eyes on salted peas. Black are the shadows of old magnolia trees.
Black is molasses from tall sugar cane. Black is soft singing.
Hush now, don't explain.
Black is the skillet for bread to fry. Black are dreams and raisins, left out in the sun to die.
Black is the color of ink staining page. Black is the mask that shelters his rage. Black are the birds in cages that sing. Black is a color. Black is a culture.
Black is history. Black is family. Black is memory. Black is community. Black is the love that lives inside of me. My color is black.
Black are the stones bearing witness to prayer. Black is the faith in freedom not seen.
Black was the man who gave the world his dream. Black is a color. Black is a culture. Black is the heart of a candle in flame. Black is the power of movement and pain.
Black Lives Matter.
Black are the branches that carry my name.
Weaving, rapping, lifting, laughing, hoping, grasping, quiet, strong.
Our color is black. So you see, there is no black in rainbows.
No black in green or blue, but in my box of crayons,
Black is a rainbow too.
Everybody give them a round of applause. I know you're at home, but we can hear your applause all the way through the camera across the country. So now what we're going to do is take a closer look at some of the things that we saw in that story. There's so much. The artwork is beautiful. The words are powerful. Where to even begin? But I thought we'd start here on this page, where we see some things that are common things that we might see. For example, do any of you have friends that have braided hair? You know what happens to our feet when we run around in the summer? What happens to your feet, Amani and Ella?
Well, when you're walking around with no shoes on outside, your feet get all dirty.
And finally, she says black are soft circles that spin down the street. Ooh, what do we think that means? Maybe you can look at the picture for some clues. Ooh, Jessie. And Maya, yeah, you got it. Those are the bicycle tires. So when she said soft circles, she was using a metaphor. A metaphor is when you compare some things that are different, but you find something that's the same between them. And here she's talking about something different now. Black is a rhythm, black is the blues. Well, rhythm doesn't have a color, and neither does blues. In fact, shouldn't blues be blue? Now here she's talking about music. So Ella, Amani, and friends at home, what do you think this means?
So the blues is actually a type of music. Eli, do you want to talk about the blues?
It is deeply inspired by African roots. Both blues and jazz have unique rhythm to them that makes it part of the black culture.
Ah, thank you. Eli, do you play the blues?
I can play some blues, yeah.
Play us a little blues real quick. Let us hear what it sounds like, in case our friends at home don't know. Woo! Just like that. That was amazing. So, friends, that was the blues. And so here the author is starting to talk about a metaphor where black is not just a color, black is rhythm and music. It is a type of music. So think about that in the rest of our story and in the next page that we're going to talk about. And here, the author has some really strong words on this page about ink staining a page and a mask that shelters rage, a bird in a cage. So I think we have a special Cal Weary popping up to share what he thinks.
So I think that sometimes when we read books that are called children's books, we don't talk about big words or little words that mean big things like rage. And I think all of us have sometimes when we go to a place where we get angry and we have to deal with it.
Do you know what another word for rage is? You can type in the chat.
Which zone do you guys think that is?
Rage, yeah. Ah ha ha, yes, it is anger, and it is in the red zone. In fact, rage is a special kind of anger that's a really big anger and very in the red zone.
I would say that since we have red and we have blue and we have yellow and we have green, that if we're going to talk about where what it feels like sometimes to be a black person and have red as your rage, your anger, and have blue because you're sad and you don't want to talk about it, if you mix the two of them together, maybe that's what actually would be like the black zone. You know, if you can think about it that way, where you are angry but you can't say anything. You don't even want to say anything because you don't want to make things worse. Have you ever felt that way before? I wonder. I think we all feel that, whether black or white or brown, it doesn't matter what color you are, we all have times when we feel angry and we don't feel like we can say anything about it because we think it's going to make things worse. And I think that's kind of like what I would call the black zone, you know? See, these are my kids, and I love my children. And I think sometimes I'm afraid that if I really showed all the anger that I have about some of the things that are going on, that someone might hurt my kids. And I would never want that. It's not so much at this age for me about being hurt myself or about bad things for me. It's about my children and their future. For other people, it could be for themselves. For other people, it could be for other people they love like me. But I think that's the scary part, is that even though I should be allowed to have feelings of anger about things that are bad that happen, I don't necessarily feel like I'm allowed to show them, because if I do, then it makes me seem like I'm a bad person. But people have bad feelings sometimes, and they should be allowed to figure out positive ways to show them, like protesting. If the positive protesting, to let people know how you feel, peaceful protest, so you can let people know how you feel about something. And then, but I think sometimes people feel like they can't do that.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, one of the things we talk about here in our other programs is how any way you feel, it's okay, right? We talk about how those emotions, you know, no matter what they are, those feelings are okay. And I think probably all of us have felt at one time or another that maybe our feelings aren't okay. And I think what you're saying is that that's part of the Black experience in America, is that feeling that you're not allowed to have those feelings. You can't show the, well, of course you have those feelings, you're not allowed to show those feelings. And other people who felt that way too, I think, can really empathize, right? They can feel with your heart there.
And it's interesting you use the word empathy. I hate to add another word, but since you are with theater people, we have a word called entropy. And we use, for in theater, entropy, which is a very similar to empathy, is the positive flow of emotions from stage to the audience and back. It's like a circle. So if you apply that, if you add that to like what we're talking about, if I feel good and other people see that I feel good and that makes them feel good, then that can come back to me. So let's look at that when we talk about like that black zone that we were just talking about. If I feel bad and I have these sad feelings, I might be afraid that if I put out my angry feelings, that they'll make other people angry and then they'll send anger back to me. But I think what we're starting to find out is that when we talk about things, when we actually share our feelings in a positive way, in a peaceful way, that maybe people will feel sad or feel bad for us, or maybe they get angry too, but then we try to do things to make things better.
Yes,
That's what we try to do.
and that's what this last page we're going to take a look at has to do with. It is people doing exactly that, showing their feelings in the most positive way that they possibly can. And in this page, talks about Black is the heart of a candle and flame. Black is the power of movement and pain. And being at the protests yesterday in particular, there were a lot of stories, and some of them were really sad. And my empathy was really huge. And so, but people keep moving and fighting because they are doing their best to support each other and to uplift each other and to do something about this. So I just want to throw this out to you and in the chat, if you have anything to say about this last page here of our story.
I would like to say that even though people are in pain, and Black people are in pain, it is possible to put that out there and make your movement more powerful. So because we shared our pain, now there are people from France and Finland and all these other countries who are also protesting and showing that they're with us. But that wouldn't have been possible if we didn't share that, if we didn't say, hey, I'm in pain, can you come help me? Hey, I'm gonna do this movement. And all these other people are on board now because there is power in showing your pain, but being peaceful in a way, peaceful protesting. And so that's what I would say about that page.
Very much. I really like that. I have a mantra. The end of my mantra, the last part is there's light in the dark and there's love in the pain. So every bit of pain that there is, there's love behind it. Otherwise you wouldn't feel it. And so people coming together to help each other through that, that's empathy. And that's a beautiful thing. And so that's where we're at right now with all of the protests are people who love each other so much that they say, I don't want to watch you be in pain anymore. I want to help end this. And so lots of feelings going on, lots of people sharing and having a voice. So on that note, I know that for me, and probably for you, that music and art and dance are one of the things that actually help me feel a lot better. And we just talked about some things that are kind of big emotions. So I would love it if you could play us another song so that we can process our feelings a little bit. And friends, we're going to have a question and answer time with these amazing, talented young artists after this performance. So in the chat, if you have any questions for them at all, any questions about France, about the ukulele, about what it's like living in New York City, for those of you who aren't there, write it in the chat and we'll get back to them after this performance.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing, gonna spread your wings and take to the sky. Until that morning, ain't nothing can harm you. With mommy and daddy standing by. Summertime.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Friends at home, round of applause. We can hear you. We can feel your energy. So do clap, send us your love in the chat. That was amazing. Thank you. Very touching. So friends at home, now we have a little bit of time to throw some questions to our talented artists, Eli, Ella, and Amani Weary. All right, so we have a question from Kieran. And Kieran says, why do you like music so much?
Music for me is a way to express how I feel in a form that everyone can understand. Everyone doesn't speak the same language, so sometimes we don't understand each other through speaking with our words. But when you play some music, depending on how it sounds, you can understand the person's feelings without actually understanding what they're saying. And it's a really good way to communicate with people.
Ah, thank you. That's a good answer. That's actually my friend Lucas, who's on here. He led some music in our last shows and showed us exactly that without even saying a word, your music can show so much. Thank you. How about you, Eli, back there with the guitar? Why do you love music so much?
I love music because, well, I have a lot of reasons that I love music. I feel similarly to Amani in that you can convey so much emotion through all the arts without speaking the same language. But another thing that I really enjoy about music is on the creative side, it's a lot of problem solving, and there's a lot of, well, there's math in it that I really enjoy. I like trying to add things that I wouldn't think work and then trying to find solutions for them. And it's a fun way to be creative, and it brings me a lot of joy.
And not only is it a fun way to be creative, but if you're ever feeling sad or angry, music and writing music is a really good way to get that out. And I also find it to be something that can unite people. Like a lot of my friends and I, we have music that's in common, and that's actually how we start talking and becoming friends.
Awesome. Well, we have kind of a lot of younger kids, but I'd be curious, do you have any songs that you would recommend to kids? Either a song that you find uplifting that helps you feel in a more green zone sort of mood, or a song that you listen to maybe to just wrap yourself up in that blue zone and feel some quiet comfort.
One song, I know it's a little old, but it always makes me really happy when you listen to it, is Pharrell Williams' Because I'm Happy. That song, it's all the clapping that goes to it. It's a really fun song. So if you haven't heard that, ask your parents to listen to it. It'll like boost your mood so much. It's a very fun song, and you can clap along to it, sing along, dance along. It's a really good song.
Friends at home, I know you've got to know that one. It's such a great song. I bet everybody's thinking about it right now. Just that little clap. How about you, Eli and Ella?
I think, you know, I'm a little bit older than them, so my music taste might be a little bit different, but I think a newer song that I enjoy that people can listen to and really feel joy from is "Can't Stop the Feelin'," that Justin Timberlake, right? Justin Timberlake song.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I think it was in a troll movie recently, so that's not too far off. Great. And I'm trying to not get distracted by the amazingly cute things I want to hear about your song, Ella. But what is that? Can you bring them closer to the camera? There's a little feel good moment here.
Here, so this is Luna.
Luna, hi.
Thor.
Oh, everybody say hello, Luna and Thor. Are they new members of your family?
Yes. These are Shy Chais. So they are a Shih Tzu Chihuahua mix.
Yeah.
And they
Little
are
dogs.
about 8 weeks old.
8
9
months.
My heart's going to
No.
So you're incorrect.
Wait.
8 weeks old.
Yeah.
8 weeks old. 8 weeks.
Wow, and you guys got 2?
Yeah.
They're brother and sister.
Well, you know, this pandemic has been hard, so I understand. You got 2 really great new friends. Thank you. Oh, I can't think of a more perfect way to end this than puppies and you guys. So we are running out of time. Teacher Seth, did you see any other questions that we should throw out, or is it about that time to wrap up?
You know, there were a couple of questions about like, you know, what kids can do, right? And I know that we're going to talk more about that in some of our episodes coming up. But, you know, I think maybe just a couple of ideas right now about some things that kids can do, because I know that so many people here have a, you know, in their heart, they really, really want to help in this fight. So what are some things that we think kids can do today that could help in this fight against racism?
So I'm gonna say, you know, as a parent, I think it would be great. It's wonderful to me when my kids come to me and say, "Hey, can we go to this protest, or can we go? Can we make signs to go and you know, put our feelings down on paper?" And I think that you as kids, you can get the same way you can pick up crayons and draw pictures of the sun, and that's always, every day you should draw that. The beautiful things around you. You can also draw your feelings on paper, just like Teacher Jackie did. And I ran and grabbed the puppies for more than one reason. Obviously, puppies are fun. No matter what, puppies are fun. But you notice that one of them is light brown and one of them is very black, very dark. They are brother and sister, and they love one another so much. They fight and they play, and we love them. It doesn't matter what color they are. They are very loved, and I think that we can learn a lot from these puppies as people. But if you really want to know what there are things that you can do, it's honestly, talk to your friends. If you have friends who are of color, you know, talk to them and see how they feel. Ask them about what their experiences are. And, you know, if you are a friend of color, feel free to talk to your friends, you know, and tell them what it feels like to be you. You know, I think the more that we talk to each other, the better that we do understanding from someone's point of view, from where they are, you know. That's what I would do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Can you count, maybe even like kind of give some words to the students? Like, how would you, let's say, you know, my daughter who's white, and, you know, she wanted to ask one of her black friends about her experience. Like, what are some words that she would use to ask that?
You know, honestly, I think most of all is tell me, talk to me. Have you ever, and you can add, you know, have you ever experienced this? How did it feel when this happened? And hopefully your friends, if they're really your friends, they won't have a problem telling you no if they don't want to speak about it. You know how that works too. But hopefully the more that you are willing to be there and listen is the big thing. Using our listening ears, That's the best thing you can do when you deal with anyone with any kind of problem. Right now we're talking about racism, but there are so many other isms out there that we can open our ears up and listen to our friends, and sometimes it's going to be yours. Sometimes I know with little ones, when you're kids, it's like someone treats you a certain way because of your age, and you're like, I know things. Well, we know you do. That's why we want to ask your opinion about things. And sometimes you feel that way too. So I think opening up your ears, and one of the things you want to say to your friends is, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I love you. I love you because you're my friend. It doesn't matter to me what color you are or where you're from, any of that. You're my friend. We have great times together. I love you. Tell me how things make you feel, and I'll tell you how they make me feel. And I think that's the best place to start.
Calvin and Weary Arts Group, I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you. Thanks
So
for having us.
talent and super, super grateful. Ladies, amazing. Gentlemen, amazing. And everybody in the chat, let's give them one more round of applause. Wow. And thank you for your bravery, for you guys and for everybody on the chat. This is big stuff. And I cannot thank you enough either for being here. So I look forward to seeing you next week.
So right now we're going to give it over to Eli Weary, who's going to play us out a little bit. You guys can stick around and listen to that music. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for being here. We'll hope to see you next week.
Blackbirds sing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbirds sing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird sing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night.
Ah, bravo. So beautiful. Do you have another one for us, or are we?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Hey, people are still watching, so.
Song.
Imagine there's no heaven. It isn't hard to try. No hell below us. above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Well, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to live or die for, and no religions too. Imagine all the people living for today. Well, you may say I'm a dreamer. Well, I'm not the only one. And I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
Bravo. Thank you so much, Eli.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who came. We hope to see you guys again next week. Let's all do our part to help in this very, very important moment and this very important fight. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.